All right, everyone. It seems we got some good news. Blizzard has announced another set of changes that are coming with the weekly reset on the 5th or 6th of May, depending on your region. In addition, we've also received a hotfix to a very troublesome issue where whenever we would move Beacon of the Savior with a Holy Light or a Flash of Light, the healing from that cast would not transfer to any of our beacons. Um, it required us to relog or respec every time we enter an instance to partially fix this problem. That has been already fixed, so yay, no more respecking, I guess. On top of that, the change to the sound effect volume of this trinket is also a big W for anyone rocking a Gaze of the Onseer. You know how troubling that effect could get. So that's that. Now, onto the meat and potatoes. We've got yet another buff to our spenders. As these are multiplicative, it results in around 65 to 66% buff to our spenders since the start of the expansion, which is definitely something in my book. Now, one question which was going around my mind was whether these buffs are enough to warrant running Empyrean Legacy over the default playstyle, and the answer is most likely no. From what I've gathered from the Paladin Discord, in its current state, this talent is so undertuned that its viability relies heavily on how strong Eternal Flame is to warrant using it rotationally over just spamming Light of Dawn. Simply put, Eternal Flame / Word of Glory is just much weaker from a throughput perspective, and while all the buffs we have received are welcome, buffing these abilities by the same percentage every single time does not give room to let our single target spender pull ahead. If Blizzard would want to make Empyrean Legacy viable again, they would have to either buff it directly or just buff Eternal Flame by a lot more than Light of Dawn, so that its power relative to the AoE spender is much closer to what we have right now. Now, what do all of these changes mean for Raid and M+? Well, for raids, my prediction is that we are not going to take over the meta, but we are going to be a bit closer to the rest of the healers. I don't really think that this is something that will change drastically over the course of the season, just because the current healing profile of Paladin does not compete well with what the top dogs can do. Historically, Paladin was always a nice fit to a composition because of its spot healing capabilities, but because we are so heavily incentivized to cast Light of Dawn more than Eternal Flame, we kind of lose that niche, and well, there are healers who definitely can do AoE healing a lot better than we do, which is totally fine. But yeah, I just wish that Paladin could maybe round out the healing profile of a raid team a little bit more than it can right now. So yeah, there's that. Sure, we have the whole, Holy Light spam to cover healing absorbs, but that makes us very reliant on innervates, which is a problem in and of its own. So that's how things are looking for raid. Now, for M+, these changes, as I've mentioned in my comparison video between Lightsmith and Herald, are going to be resonating much more with anyone playing Herald of the Sun. Especially since recently, a lot more people in the hierarchies decided to opt out of the Martyr talents in favor of Unending Light and Breaking Dawn to cover AoE healing, and so far it's been doing wonders. personally, I've been trying to, let's say, play with these talents a bit, and I feel much safer running them in a key compared to before. So I think with the upcoming reset, that is going to be amplified even further. Unfortunately, for anyone enjoying Lightsmith, I do believe this tuning is going to create an even larger gap between performance of both of the specs, so it will get harder to justify playing Lightsmith the higher the key level will be. My current suspicion is that with these changes, we will hardly ever press Eternal Flame and result in just defaulting to using Light of Dawn for most damage events, just because of how strong it is going to be, and all the support that is baked into the both the hero talents and the Spectre. Just support that even more. So yeah, there's that, but obviously we'll see how this is going to look as we approach the weekly reset. So yeah, that's all for this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy and enjoy the buffs. Bye!